Second problem, again, pause the video, copy this down in your notes, and then join me back again after you have it copied down, after maybe you kind of get your mind wrapped around what's going on. One thing I do want to point out is in this formula, I don't have the square root symbol in this little iPad app typewriter. So that's 2 times the square root of x. All right. So I mentioned in the last video, we're going to do this every problem every time. Your focus first should be, what am I trying to find? So I'm going to look at this last sentence here, and it says, how fast, so what I'm trying to figure out is how fast are the sales changing? Sales meaning how many units you're selling, how much you're selling. How fast? Speed is a rate of change. Rate of change is derivative. Okay, so they want me to find the derivative of the sales, or how many units I'm selling. Well, that's what x is. It tells me x is units. So I want the derivative of x, the derivative of how many units I'm selling. That's my whole goal. Okay, so I know what I'm looking for. And then now let's start. I'm going to go ahead and start with my formula. Well, no, we'll go the same order we did the last problem. So the last problem, after I found what we were looking for, I went through these other numbers in the problem. Okay, so I got this number 1600 they gave me. I want to see what that is. Well, it says that's the number of units sold. Units is x. It told me that x is the number of units. So they gave me x. X is 1600. Okay, where's another number? All right, here's another number. They gave me 900. Let's see what that is. That's a rate. Rate is derivative. So it says if the profit is changing at a rate of $900. So the rate of profit, that means they gave me the derivative of the profit. They didn't tell me the profit. They told me what the profit is changing as, and that's derivative. So that's $900. 1,600 units, $900. Okay, so I've interpreted everything there, and now I need to know, what's my formula I'm going to work with? Well, this time they gave it to you. If it's a geometry problem, the formula you're going to use is the formula for area or volume or whatever you're working with. But in this case, they're giving it to me. It's 2 times the square root of x. That's my formula. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite that because we know we never deal with radicals. Okay, if you're still not doing that automatically, write yourself a note and then drill that into your head. Every time you see a square root, change it to a 1/2 exponent. All right, so same thing as we did last problem. I'm trying to find dx, the derivative of x. So I need to take the derivative of this whole equation. So the derivative of p is dp. Now when I take the derivative over here, 1/2 comes forward. 1/2 times 2 is 1. So I have x, and then when you subtract 1 from your exponent, you get negative 1/2. And then I'm going to put dx. We always put d, the derivative of our exponents, whatever they are. Doesn't matter what they are. It could be a p, x, r, v. It doesn't matter. Okay? And then again, I'm trying to get dx by itself. So move this x to the negative 1/2 power over. And then let's plug in what we know. Although, before you do that, let's deal with something. A negative exponent means move it. If it's in the denominator, that means move that x to the 1/2 up. That's what it means. That's a pre-algebra thing that you learned. That's a rule of exponents. A negative exponent means move it to the other part of the fraction. So I really have x to the 1/2 power times dp is equal to my dx here. So x to the 1/2 power. X is 16. Wow. Hello. There we go. I need a new color. X is 1600. So I have the square root of 1600, because that's what 1/2 power means, times dp, which they told me was $900. And when I do those two things, it's going to tell me the derivative of x. Square root of 1600 is 40. 40 times $900. I had to cut this video so I could scoot it. Actually, when I made a mistake up here only because when I wrote $900, that's actually $900 per month. So I should have put a dollars per month up there. So this is dollars per month. So when I multiply these two, I get $36,000 per month. And that's my rate. Oh, I didn't even finish writing. This video is a mess. It's all choppy. Something's going on with my app. Anyway, so again, just to recap, get yourself straight. What you can't do is this. This is poison. You can't read this and go, oh my gosh, I can't figure it out. Like, it's confusing. You might read it as a chunk and go, okay, this is confusing. Stop doing that to yourself. Break it into pieces. I'm giving you the technique. Technique number 1. Go straight to what they're asking for and figure that out. Okay, and once you have that, go to the other pieces that they're telling you, write down what they are. And the third step is, what's your formula you're going to use? They're either going to give you the formula or it's going to be a common formula from geometry. And then start your process of doing the implicit differentiation, the derivative of both sides. Isolate what they're asking for, and then fill in what you know, and you're done. Okay? Don't freak yourself out. Do everything in chunks.